Very good morning, everyone. How are you all? Very fine? Yes. Last class, any doubt? Have you gone through the questions of question bank? Not yet. I started. Have you found any question which you have not understood? Any questions? No questions? Any doubt in concepts? Any doubt in concept? No? No doubt in the concept? Yes, sir. Let us revise fast. In last class already almost we have completed in day 37. Only one point is left. Only one concept is left. Let us revise fast. What we have done, the meaning of provision. Provision means they are liability of uncertain amount or timing. What is the meaning of liability? Liabilities are present obligation arising from past event which will be settled through outflow of resource which must be probable. Correct? Yes, sir. Then there are two types of obligation. One is legal obligation, other is constructive obligation. What are legal obligation? Which arises due to contract or any legislation or any other obligation of law. Constructive obligation means it is derived from entities' own action. It may be due to past practice or published policies or any specific statement or announcement which indicate that entity will accept their responsibility and which also create a valid expectation on the part of other party. You can see this para is very important. Correct? Now, if in your examination, if there is a constructive obligation, you said yes, it is a constructive obligation, therefore we should create a provision. So this will be a correct answer, but not best answer. You should write down that any constructive obligation is this. Means you need to write down this para also. So I hope you are understanding the difference between correct answer and best answer. So institute will give marks, full marks for best answer and average marks for less than average marks. I am not saying average marks. Less than average marks for correct answer. Understood? So if you are not getting full marks, it means your answer is not up to the requirement of ICI. Your answer is not up to the requirement of ICI. Correct? This is the only reason. Recognition, there are three conditions. Point number 1, there must be present obligation arising from past event, which may be, the obligation may be legal or constructive. Outflow of resource which is required to settle the obligation must be probable. A reliable estimation can be made for the amount or timing of the obligation. Correct? Then we have done that only those obligations which exist independently from future conduct of business should be recognized. Otherwise, this should not be recognized. All obligations involve other party. However, the identification of other party is not required for the recognition of provision. Correct? Yes, this much you have understood. Then legal obligation arises when legislation is either enacted or it is virtually certain that it will be enacted by the end of reporting period. Means it is virtually certain by the end of reporting period that it will be enacted. Understood? Yes, sir. Then we have done contingent liability. Contingent liability means it is a present obligation arising from past event which is not recognized. Why? Because either outflow of resource is not probable or reliable estimation cannot be made, or it is a possible obligation arising from past event. If you want to continue, the existence of which will be confirmed only by the occurrence or non-occurrence of future event which is not within the control of the entity. That I think you can memorize. There are something which we need to memorize also. Correct now. So there are two types of memorization. One is memorization with understanding. One is memorization without understanding. So when you do memorization without understanding, then you forget soon. When you memorize with understanding, then it will be in your mind for ever. Understood? The difference between how you are memorizing. The memorization is also important for passing any examination in India. Any examination in India, not only CA examination. Correct? Yes, sir. Then about recognition, it will not be recognized. It will be only disclosed in the notes of financial statement. Understood? Then contingent asset also we have understood that contingent asset are possible asset arising from past event, the existence of which will be confirmed. I think you can memorize. Chalega? Yes, sir. Recognition, very important, that if inflow are virtually certain, it will be recognized as an asset. means it is not a contingent asset. Recognize means record journal entry. Virtual certainty means more than 95%. Correct? However, in exam they will not give you the percentage. Percentage is only to make some judgment. Whenever there is a probability, I think if you have done probability in your mathematics in some class, I don't know in which class it was in your syllabus. Correct now? But probability always it is either more than certain percentage or less than certain percentage. It cannot be equal to certain percentage. Correct now? Probability cannot be equal to certain percentage. I will never say that I will pass the exam which is exactly equal to 50%. I will say passing percentage, my passing percentage is more than 50%. Understood? Yes, sir. If it is probable, then it will be considered as a contingent asset which will not be recognized. However, disclosure is required in the notes to financial statement. If it is not probable, then no treatment is required. However, with this all discussion, you have understood that Ind AS 37 is more strict for the recognition of inflow than recognition of outflow. This summary you have understood? Yes, sir. Then measurement. So measurement is what? Best estimate of expenditure which is required to settle the obligation at the end of reporting period. At the end of the reporting period means we need to do discounting of the estimated amount. Understood? Based on the estimated timing. If timing is also require estimation. But nothing to worry in exam. Always amount will be also given, timing will be also given, and you are expert in discounting. Then estimation are determined by management judgment. It need to be supported by similar past transaction, correct, or report of an expert, or any additional evidence provided by event occurring after reporting date. Today we will start Ind AS 10. Ind AS 10 means AS 4. How to measure? I hope this also you have understood. When obligation involve large population, then determine expected value of obligation. What is the keyword? Expected value of obligation, which is nothing but weighted average of all possible outcome. Possible outcome will be given. You are expert in averaging. Correct? Yes, sir. When there is a single obligation with two possible outcome, if there are only two possible outcomes, then most likely outcome will be the amount of provision. Understood? Correct? In this, no doubt. I hope we have done question number 5. Question number 5 already we have done, or similar question we have taken. You can refer it. Yes, sir. Then there are some note. Provision should be measured before tax. Rate of discount should be pre-tax. Amount of provision will be the present value of expenditure if the effect of time value of money is material. This is also keyword. If the effect of time value of money is material. TVM means time value of money. Correct? So I have already explained you that if the amount is payable within 1 year from reporting date, then we'll assume that time value of money is not material. Then discounting is not required. Means if it is payable after 1 year from reporting that, then we will assume that time value of money is material, then discounting will be required. However, from examination point of view, rate of discount will be given, then it means we need to discount it. From examination point of view, rate of discount is given means we need to discount it. Understood? Means common sense applied. Then gain from expected sale of assets should not be considered for recognition, for measurement purpose. This point also you have understood? Yes, sir. Risk and uncertainties. In this, write down one question. We'll discuss right now. Question, very good question is there. Question number 32 and question number 20. So we'll do question number 20. Come to question number 20. 32 you can do by your own. Question number 20. You have done this question by your own? Have you done? Question number 20 you have done? Not done, na? I will do it. Nothing to worry. Write down expected, and I am expecting this question. When I say expected, means expected. In the all the last attempt of new syllabus, 70% will come from my expectation. 70%. This last attempt 91 marks were from my expected list of questions. 91 marks. Total marks was 124. Out of 124, 91 marks was from my expected list. Is before exam I give a list of the question and 91 marks was from there. Means what do you want more than that? Correct? Understood? Yes, sir. So let us do this question. Good question. Marico has an obligation to restore environmental damage in the area surrounding his factory. Good question. Why it is a good question? Means if you will not read the question carefully, you will do mistake. So when I am reading the question, you are not supposed to read the answer. When I am reading the question, you are not supposed to read the answer. Because once you read the answer, then over. Game is over. Expert advice indicate that restoration will be carried out in two distinct phases. Okay. The first phase requiring expenditure of 2 million. 2 million means how much lakhs? 20 lakh to remove the contaminated soil from the area, and the second phase commencing 3 years later from the end of first phase. Means when the first phase will complete, from there 3 years. From the 3 years from the end of the first phase. From the end of the first phase. Means if you are not reading carefully, some mistake may happen. Some mistake may happen in this point only. Correct? Normally students do mistake not in concept. Students do mistake in reading the question only. Because in exam they are with lot of pressure. Pressure from everywhere. Pressure from everywhere. Understood? And due to that pressure, they will not read the information. Some wrong information they will take, but calculation will be correct as per the wrong information, whether ICA will give marks. Anda. In no examination you will get marks. Correct now? I will say you in class 12 examination mathematics, in mathematics I got 97 out of 100. 3 marks was deducted because I have read the word to as by. 2 is it was given that it will be increased to, and I have taken it that it is increased by. Difference ho gaya na? 2 and by. Because of that reason my 3 marks were deducted. Otherwise I would have got 100 marks. But chalo theek hota hai. Something is better than nothing. Correct? Yes, sir. So it means reading information carefully is very important. Very, very important. Yes, sir. To replant the area with a suitable tree and vegetation. Okay, sir. The estimated cost of replanting is 3.5 million. Means second phase, what is this? How much? 35 lakh. Marico uses a cost of capital before taxation is 10%. Thank you very much. They have given pre-tax and we want pre-tax. But if in exam, suppose they are given after tax, most of the student will do mistake. Most of the student will do mistake. Danger. If suppose I am creating the question now, I will write down after taxation. Then only it is a CA final exam. Or I will give both the rate of interest. Apply. Correct now? Yes, sir. And the expenditure when incurred will attract tax relief at the company's marginal tax rate of 30%. Means they have given tax rate. Can you say whenever there is an expense will have some tax benefit? In FM you have done? Expense will reduce our tax. So because provision will be an expense, are you getting what I am saying? So can I say we'll get some tax benefit out of that? My question is that whether this 30% should be considered. Whether this 30% should be considered. Whether this information is useful for the solution or it is not useful. Is whether you will consider 30%. The provision should be before tax or after tax? Before tax. Maha bakwas point. Can I say they are confusing you with 30%? And normally what happens in class you can write no answer, but what will happen in exam hall? Because in exam hall you are not with only one chapter. There are entire chapter of FR. Not only entire chapter, because FR is paper 1. So in your mind all 8 papers are all the 8 papers are revolving. And then from 8 papers you need to take this point. Acha, this part before tax. Then maja aayega. Abhi right now it is very easy because we have done recently. Understood now? Yes, sir. Write down dangerous. This point is danger. Whenever in question you point some interesting point, write down danger. Because it will help you at that time of last revision. Last revision means what? When you are revising before exam. So you are not supposed to read the entire question. Just read the danger point. Because that area you can do mistake. So in any question you are finding some point which may affect your solution, just underline and write down danger. Danger means, or you can write down anything, whatever you want. Correct? Yes, sir. Marico is not recognized. Marico has not recognized provision for such costs in the past, and today date is 31st March 2002. Is the reporting date is 31st March 2002? Yes, sir. Correct? Yes, sir. The first phase of cleanup will commence in few months time and will be completed on 31st March 2003. Means it will be completed after 1 year. Yes, sir. When the first phase payment of 2 million will be made, means on 31st March 2003, the payment will be made. Yes, sir. Phase 2 cost will be paid in 3 years. Later from the end of first phase, means 3 years you need to count from which date? 31st March 2002. You will count from this date or 31st March 2003. 31st March 2003. Dangerous. This is also dangerous. Correct? Yes, sir. Phase 2 cost will be paid 3 years later from the end of first phase. Okay, calculate the amount to be provided at 31st March 2002 for restoration cost. From solution point of view, super easy. But from question point of view, super dangerous. Because most of the students will not read the question carefully. Means whatever they will read, they will answer according to that. Now I think solution don't require my help. But because I have taken fees, let's do it. Can we do it? Question number, we are doing question number 20. Means you need to find out the present value. So can I say you need to find out year end? Year end. You are right now calculating present value at which date? 31st March 2002. This is your year end reporting date. Correct? Means this is Y0. Y0 as per FM subject. Correct? So can I say first year end is 31st March 2003. This is Y1. Y1. And you have to calculate 3 years after this. So what is the date? Year end? 4, 5, 6 is 31st March 2006. This will be which year end? Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4. Y4 na? Y5. Y4. Correct? What is good point right now, what I am observing, that I am writing but you are not writing. I am a chartered accountant, then also I am writing. You are till now not chartered accountant, then also you are enjoying your life. The difference between you are you understand the difference? Difference? Are bolna re? I am writing even though I am not required to write because the solution is given. Let's see. I can solve from here also na. But then also I am writing. But you are doing maja. And then you will get saja. When you will get saja? Saja means what? Punishment. You will get punishment when? God is observing. Huh? Your act is observed by God. And our God is ICI. Just try to understand whatever I am saying. Do what you are supposed to do. Correct? Now. Can I say then we will write down estimated amount. Amount means cash outflow. CO. CO means what? Cash outflow. You can write down full cash outflow. Estimated cash outflow. This is estimated cash outflow. The first year is how much? 20 lakh. And for Y4 it is what? 35 lakh. Now we'll find out present value factor at the rate of, what rate is given? 10%. Here only you will do mistake. I mean right now though I have written Y1, Y4, but most of the student will take Y1 and Y2 in hurry. Most of the student will take Y1 and Y2 in hurry. Hurry means in exam hall, not in classroom. Dangerous. Can you give me Y1 and Y4? 0.909, 0.6823. Correct. Now, normally one doubt is asked from student that, sir, whether we'll take 2 decimal, 3 decimal or 4 decimal. Normally this doubt is asked from the student. The answer is that for this doubt, that take the decimal. If the present value factor is given in the question, then take that information. Suppose the present value is given this in the question. Sometime present value factor is given. Suppose this is given. Now can you take 2 decimal? Can you take 4 decimal? Can you take entire decimal? No. If this is given, then take whatever is given, if even the information is wrong. Suppose first year they have given 912. So what you will take? 912. Whatever information is given, that only you are supposed to take. You can't write in exam paper that you don't know anything, you don't know how to make question, you can't write this. Whatever information is given, even the wrong information is given, take that wrong information. Understood? Goal yes or no? Correct. If this information is not given, then from my point of view, you should take either 3 decimal or 4 decimal. Don't take 2 decimal. Don't take entire decimal also. Understood? Yes, sir. So if silent, either 3 or 4 decimal. Your choice. Don't take 2 decimal. Chalega? Now can you give me the amount? Amount, you are expert because you have calculator. Correct? Amount, can you give me the amount? Total amount. $42,05,000. By taking this decimal, na? $42,08,547. Acha. What is the answer given? Check karenge. They have taken this only. The same answer is coming. So why you have said nalayak? 42,05,000? Why nalayak? Nalayak? Use calculator, okay? Batao. Morning doing mistake in classroom. What will happen in exam hall? Nalayak. And then say ICI is not good. Correct. Answer is correct? Yes, sir. Why I have done this question? Just to inform you where you can do mistake. Where you can do mistake. But whether the question was complicated or simple. I'm asking something. Whether the question was complicated or simple. Simple, but only when you have read the question carefully. Concept is easy. Solution will be also easy. What will be dangerous? The information given in the question. Correct? Yes, sir. Understood? Let me come to the next point. But of course, this is only a working note I have given. Then you can write down. Comment you can give, na? That you can give. I will not write down that. That you can refer from question only. You can see the provision is calculated using, you can read and write down in your solution. Correct? Yes, sir. So, this also you have understood. Coming to the next point. Risk and uncertainties you have understood. Yes, sir. Reimbursement. Very important. A reimbursement. When expenditure is required to settle is expected to be reimbursed by third party, and if the inflow is the expected inflow is virtually certain, is reimbursement means expected inflow is virtually certain, then what? reimbursement will be recognized as a separate asset and it will not be set off with provision in balance sheet. However, in SOPL, such amount will be set off with the amount of provision and net expense will be recognized. Net expense will be recognized. But in any case, the amount recognized as reimbursement asset should not exceed the amount of provision. It should not exceed the amount of provision. Correct? Yes, sir. However, if the inflow is not virtually certain, then it can be either probable or it can be what? Not probable. If it is probable, then it will be disclosed as a contingent asset in the notes to financial assets. Simple. Yes, sir. Then future operating loss, neither provision will be created nor contingent liability is to be disclosed because it is based on future event. The point is future operating loss. The what is operating? I am not discussing about future loss. There may be future loss due to past transaction also. Loss, correct now. So there may be some loss which may occur in future, but due to past event, then it will be recognized as by Ind AS 37. Executory contract. Once again, one doubt has came that please explain executory contract. So once again, executory contract, if you want to write down, are those contract which is either performed by both party partially, which is either performed by both the party partially or not yet performed by both the party. Not yet performed by both the party. This is executory contract. Now for executory contract, Ind AS 37 is not applicable. I have taken one example. What example I have taken? That we have done one contract to purchase a machinery, but machinery will be delivered after 1 year. So correct now. So I have not done the payment and that party has not delivered the machinery. So both the party has not performed their obligation. Therefore it is an executory contract. So should we recognize a liability? No, we should not recognize the liability because it is also based on future event. Correct? Why? Because we do accounting not based on contract, we do accounting based on substance over form. Correct? Understood? But what Ind AS 37 says that if executory contract become onerous, then Ind AS 37 is applicable. What is the meaning of onerous contract? Onerous contract are those executory contract in which unavoidable cost of meeting the obligation is more than economic benefit expected from that particular contract. Correct? Understood? This point, I think no doubt. So whenever it is an onerous contract, then we should recognize provision for an amount which is equal to unavoidable cost. Unavoidable cost means it will be lower of cost of fulfilling the contract or penalty payable to come out from that contract. Correct? If the penalty amount is given in the question, then consider it. Otherwise, the provision amount will be equal to cost of fulfilling the contract. I think you have understood this. Any doubt in this executive contract? So you need to refer question number 11 and question number 28. I hope 29, na? 28 or 29? 28. I have done this question. No, it will be not question number 28, it will be question number 30. Question number 30 and question number 33 also. Come to question number 30. I think examination question. Question number 30 is an examination question. Sun Limited has entered into a binding agreement. Binding agreement which cannot be cancelled, but it can be cancelled upon payment of penalty. With Moon Limited to buy a custom made machine for rupees 4 lakh. At the end of 17-18, before delivery of the machine, Sun Limited had changed its method of production. Similar example I have taken. The new method will not require the machine ordered which is to be scrapped after delivery, and the expected scrap value is nil. In my example, I have taken scrap value. I have given NRV, but in this question, NRV is 0. Given that asset is yet to be delivered, should any liability be recognized for the potential loss? If so, give reason for the same. the amount of liability as well as the accounting entry. So in this first you need to define executory contract, then you define onerous contract, then you should write down, because it is an onerous contract, we should recognize a provision which will be equal to the amount of unavoidable cost, which is in the given case it is equal to what? Only 4 lakh. The entire amount will be recognized as a provision. Super easy, but how you are writing, that is important. Okay, just see the suggested solution. First they have defined what? Executory contract. No, it does not mean you are supposed to write down as it is. You are not supposed to write down, because it is not possible to memorize the exact word. But you can write down in your own word the definition of executory contract. Correct now. Even when I am saying, I am not saying the exact word. I am saying the whatever sentence in my words. Correct now. So you can write down. Then they have defined onerous contract. Then they have given the provision. Correct? Yes sir. I think they have asked you the accounting entry. So accounting entry will what? PL account debit to provision for onerous contract. PL account debit to provision for onerous contract. However, they have done 2 journal entry. PL account debit to provision for onerous contract is a compound journal entry. Compound, you know, when 2 journal entry recorded together, so that become compound journal entry. However, separate journal entry is what? What? PL account debit to? That is the compound. That only I have said right now. PL account debit to provision. PL before PL. Can I say we should recognize expense? Expense will be transferred to PL. Correct. Now you need to give some name to that expense, so you can write on loss due to contract, executory contract. Correct now. To what? Provision. Then that loss will be transferred to what? PL. What journal entry they have given? Onerous contract provision expense. Can I say any name can be given? You are not supposed to do rectification of this account. Expense need to be recognized. So you can write on loss due to onerous contract. To what? Provision. You can write on this also. And this loss will be transferred to PL. What is second journal entry? PL account debit to loss. PL account debit to loss or expense, whatever. Understood? Journal entry is very simple. Any doubt? So either you can pass compound journal entry also, they will not deduct marks for that. So you can direct write PL account debit to provision for onerous contract. Yes sir. Understood? Yes sir, understood. Correct. Let me take one more question. Question number 33. Because I am taking question. Question 33. RTP May 2020. Entity XYZ enter into contract to supply 1000 television set for 2 million. Supply 1000 television set for 2 million. An increase in the cost of input has resulted in an increased cost of sales. Means the sales amount is 2 million, but now cost of sales will be 2.5 million. Can I see it become onerous? They have entered in contract. Contract means binding contract, which may be cancelled only by payment of penalty. Understood? Correct. Now the cost of sale means cost of purchasing is what? 2.5. But the sale revenue will be what? 2 million. It become an onerous contract. The penalty for non-performance of the contract is expected to be 0.25 crore. So what is the loss if suppose they will fulfill the contract? Loss is 0.5 and penalty is what? 0.25. So what will be the amount of provision? Lower of this. So it means you should create a provision of 0.25 million. Super easy. But how you are writing, that is important. Can you write down in your own words? Correct. You can read, but the answer will be this one. Correct. Means for writing the answer, what is important? This para is important. Means I have just given in simple words only so that you can retain in your mind. So this India Saransh book will help you in writing the content of the answer. Are you getting? Yes sir. Chalo. This also you have understood. But there is one question where student asks a lot of doubt. That question is question number 23. Let's see what you say first. Means I will say most doubtful question of this chapter. Most doubtful question of this chapter. Not 23. (16) Question from study material. I say study material. Don't read the answer. Let's see what you are saying. ABC Limited is an automobile component manufacturer. The automobile manufacturer has specified a delivery schedule, non-adherence to which will entail a penalty. Means if you are not supplying, then penalty will be there. Correct? Binding contract. As on 31st March 2001, the reporting date, the manufacturer has a delivery schedule for June 2002. For June 2002. Correct? This point. However, the manufacturer is aware that he will not be able to meet the delivery schedule in June 2002. Means, as per management expectation, manufacturer expectation, they are of the point that they will not be able to meet the delivery schedule in June 2002. Correct? Determine whether the entity has a present obligation as at 31st March 2001 requiring a provision. But whether provision is required or provision is not required. Huh? How many are saying required? How many are saying required? Everyone saying not required. So why you are saying not required? It is not an onerous contract. Huh? It is not an onerous contract. Are you bol? Whether it is an onerous contract or it is not an onerous contract. It is an executory contract. There is no doubt. It is an executory contract. But I am happy everyone has given correct answer. Very good. This is the most doubtful question in my Telegram group. Is every time I see that student is asking this question only. I don't know why. Most doubtful. But in class everyone has said correct only. Because can I say no information about loss is given? Correct now. No information, and on 31st March, this expectation is future expectation. It should not be considered. Correct now? I hope you understand. Suppose in the question it is given that there is an expected loss, means it become a burden, means cost of meeting the contract is more than expected benefit. Then it become onerous. Correct? Then it become onerous. What is the answer given? In this case, there is no present obligation arising out of past event as the goods are scheduled for delivery in June 2002 and there is no delay in 31st March. On 31st March, there is no delay. Hence, there is no present obligation to pay the penalty. Means penalty payment will arise when they are not delivering at the time. That is what? Future event. That is a future event. Correct? But can I say, if the contract is onerous on 31st March. If the contract become onerous on 31st March, then we should recognize a provision. But from the information given the question, it is not an onerous contract. Very good. Excellent. Don't ask doubt that why say it is not an onerous contract. For the doubt. Correct? It is not an onerous contract. Have you understood? Super. Super. This also you have understood. So, next point. Next point is also done. Then I have given some summary you have understood. Changes in provision you have understood. Unwinding of provisional amount. Have you understood this para? Whenever we recognize discounted amount, every year the amount will be increased. with the interest element. That interest element will be known as borrowing cost, which will be charged to profit and loss. So this borrowing cost will be charged to PL, will be charged to profit or loss. Correct? We'll take one question, come to question number 9. Before question number 9, come to that question. I'm trying to take some question also. Question number 9. Write on expected. Expected. X Telecom Limited has an income tax litigation pending before appellate authority. Legal advisor opinion is that X Telecom Limited will lose the case and estimated the liability will be how much? 1 crore, which may arise in 2 years. Is time value of money is matter here? Yes, sir. The liability is recognized on a discounted basis. The discount rate which the liability has been discounted is 10%. Now they have given 10%. What you will assume? It is pre-tax or post-tax? Always assume what is required for the question. You can't assume by your own it is a post-tax. Correct now? Because tax rate is also not given. Yes, sir. So assume it is pre-tax only. And it is assumed that discount rate does not change over a period of 2 years. How should X Telecom Limited calculate the amount of borrowing cost? Calculate the amount of borrowing cost. Can we do it? If you permit me, however not required na. You can do it by your own. Arey bol na. No, I will do. I know you can do everything. So we are doing question number 9. Question number 9. What is the amount of provision? Amount of provision will be equal to present value of rupees 1 crore. So present value of rupees 1 crore payable after two years. So it will be 1 crore. Can you give me the present value factor? It will be 0.8264. Can I take 4 decimal if you permit me? So it will be 82,64,000. Then we will calculate borrowing cost. Calculation of borrowing cost. Correct? So what is the initial measurement of provision? Initial measurement of provision is equal to 82,64,000. Then we'll add borrowing cost at the end of first year. At the end of first year means at the end of next reporting period. Because they have not given the reporting period. They have not given any year. So at the end of first year I can write down. At the end of first year. Means suppose you have recognized provision at this point of. Suppose this is 31st March 2021. So first borrowing cost will be recognized on 31st March 2022. This is at the end of first year from this reporting date. Correct? Then this is second year, at the end of second year. We recognize interest expense at the end, at the beginning. At the end. That only I am informing you. Yes, sir. You are teaching. I know you know everything. At the end of first year. So we'll do 82,64,000 multiplied by 10%. That is 8,26,400. So can you see this become carrying amount? Carrying amount. Whenever I write CA means carrying amount, not chartered accountant. In class I will write on CA only. CA means carrying amount of provision at the end of first year. This will be how much? This will be how much? 90. Correct. Then once again we'll add borrowing cost at the end of second year. I think in FM you have done that last year interest should be calculated as balancing figure because of approximation in decimal. Correct now. So last year always will take as balancing figure. So this amount should be how much? 1 crore. So can you give me the balance amount? 909600. Correct. So this is the carrying amount of provision at the end of second year. Understood? What will be journal entry? Journal entry is not required in this question, but if they ask what journal entry you'll do, so the beginning of what you should write is reporting date. Correct now. So I am writing Y0. Can I write down Y0? Otherwise you will be confused if I write down anything. Y0 chalega? Correct? So what will be first journal entry? Batao, profit and loss account. Debit to provision. Provision for what? Legal damages. You can say provision for legal damages. How much? It is 82,64,000. Then Y1 at the end of the first year. Correct? We will recognize borrowing cost. This will be also transferred to PL. To what? Provision will increase. To provision for legal damages. This is how much? 8,26,400. Then Y2, once again borrowing cost, charge to PL, to provision. It is 9,09,600. Then amount will be paid. Suppose that 1 crore is only paid, then journal entry is provision account debit to bank. If more amount is paid, difference will be expense. Correct now? Understood? Yes sir. Less amount paid, so whatever provision is unused, that will be reversed through PL only. That we can do by our own. Understood? This also understood? No doubt. I am taking some questions so that you will feel that yes, I am also taking some questions. Otherwise, these all questions you can do by your own. My help is not required at CA final level. Yes or no? My help is not required if solution is given. If solution is given, my help is not required ना, बोलना रे. Yes sir. But if you see the solution, just check. This, the way of answering is different. Just read it. The way of answering is different, but answer is same only. So don't be confused. You can answer in this way also, your choice. Is we are not supposed to follow the exact suggested solution now. So if you read, you will see that the way of answering is different, but the conclusion is same. Conclusion is same. So if your choice, you can follow this way also. Is your choice. Done. This also we have understood. Coming to the next point. Use of provision you have understood. Accounting treatment you have understood. Now let us come to restructuring. Most important from examination point of view. Most important. What is the meaning of restructuring? Restructuring means any program which materially changes the scope of business. That is known as restructuring. Means any program taken by the entity which changes the scope of business and the change is significant. Correct? Means the merger, acquisition, these are also example of what? Restructuring. You have done amalgamation. Amalgamation is also an example of restructuring. Correct? Because when you amalgamate with another entity or you absorb another entity, so of course it will change the scope of business. It will change the scope of business. Or can I say it may be just like that, if you suppose want to terminate a particular business, not entity, closing down of a particular business. Can I say one entity may have many business? Suppose if you see my business, I have face-to-face class, I have a recording class, I have live class. There are 3 units. Face-to-face class, live class and recording class. So these all are 3 different segments now. So I may decide to close down face-to-face class. Correct now? So if I have decided to close down face-to-face class, it means it is the termination of entity, termination of business. It is the liquidation of entity or liquidation of business. Liquidation of business, not liquidation of entity. When you liquidate entity, then your going concern is affected. But when you terminate the business, one of the business, then your going concern is not affected. Means if you are closing down one factory, it does not mean you become non-going concern. Correct now? So if you have decided to terminate one particular segment, it means you are a going concern only. You are a going concern. So can I say it is a program which materially changes the scope of business. Example, sale of a division. Division means unit, unit means segment, segment means business. But not sale of entire entity. When you are selling entire entity, then it will not be covered in this topic. Then the going concern affected na. Are you getting whatever I am saying? Yes sir. So sale of division only a component, not entity, not entity. Correct? Termination of a division. Termination means what? Closing down. Sale means you have sold to other party. Termination means you have closed it without any sale. Without any sale. Or closing of a business location. Means suppose if I am teaching in Hyderabad face to face, also I am teaching in Bangalore face to face. But now I have decided not to go to Bangalore. So it means I have terminated, closed down my one business location. Correct? So that is also change in the scope of business. Change in the scope of business. Or shifting of one location to another location. Shifting of one location to another location. Suppose previously I used to teach SR Nagar. Now due to COVID-19 I decided to teach only in what? Himayat Nagar. Shifting of location, one location to another location. This is also what? Changes in scope of business. So all are these are restructuring. Restructuring. Have you understood the meaning of restructuring? Restructuring? Are bolna re? You have understood the meaning of restructuring. Now one doubt will come, so why we are discussing here? Why we are discussing restructuring in provision chapter? Let me take one example. Then only you will understand the objective behind this discussion. Correct? Everyone just try to understand. On 31st March, I have decided, I, being a Chiranjeev Jain, I have decided to close down my CA foundation classes. Previously, I used to teach CA foundation account, CA inter accounting, then advanced accounting, then CA final. Now, normally I am not teaching CA foundation nowadays. From last 3 years, I am not so much in CA foundation. Correct now? From last 3 years. But before 3, I used to teach CA foundation, CPT also. But once CPT becomes CA foundation, I decided not to teach. Correct now? Understood? It may happen. Suppose right now I have decided to close down my CA foundation, but it is restructuring or not. CA foundation is also one segment. Correct? CA inter is another segment. CA final is another segment. Yes, sir. So of course, it will meet the definition of a restructuring. Correct? So I have decided, but I have not closed it. Can I say closing will take some time? I need to fulfill the existing contract of any batch. Suppose I am teaching some batch of CA foundation. Can I say right now, I will not teach? Already I have done the contract with the student that I will teach you for your exam. Correct now? So I need to fulfill that contract. There may be some other obligation which I need to fulfill. Suppose I have done one contract with one of the institute that I will teach for 3 years with them. So can I say I need to complete that obligation also? Correct. So can I say actual closing down may take time? Actual closing may take time. Correct now. Suppose it may be after 2 years. After 2 years, suppose this is the actual closing down. Correct now. Understood? This may happen or not. Now, let me consider this CA foundation is one factory so that you will better understand the example. Now, you have decided to close down one factory. So, can I say when it will be actually closed down, you need to incur some cost of closure? Correct now? Means when it will be actual closed down, then you need to pay compensation to the employee. Because the employee may be unemployed that time. Correct now? So you may pay some termination compensation. Correct now? So some compensation will be paid. Compensation paid to employee. Correct? Or there may be some other cost of restructuring. Now the question is that on 31st March, when you have decided to close down the factory, should we create a provision? Provision for this expected cost, for this expected expenditure. Understood the doubt? First you need to understand the concept as required for Ind AS 37. Have you understood? On 31st March, before 31st March, you have decided to close down that factory. And because you have decided, there is some expected expenditure due to such restructuring program, which may occur after 2 years. Actual closure may occur after 2 years. So should we create a provision on 31st March? What do you think? Yes or no? Yes or no? No? Yes? No? Depends. Certainty for what? Certainty. Why using the word certainty? If it is certain, then the provision it become a liability. No. All just try to understand that condition. So we'll see. Of course, now you have decided. So there may be a you have decided. Now you have decided when you have taken a decision. So of course, the outflow of resource is probable. Are you getting whatever I am saying? My question is: should we create a provision? Yes or no? Yes or no? Now just try to understand, everyone. Just try to understand what is the word. I have decided to marry a girl. I'm already married, huh? I'm already married. And no intention of second marriage. But I'm just taking an example. I have decided to marry a girl. Should I create a provision for expenditure of marriage? I have decided to marry a girl. Should I create a provision for expenditure of marriage? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. I have decided whether it is a commitment, whether I am committed. No. I have only decided. Till now, no commitment. Commitment will be there when I propose her. She also say yes. Family also agreed. Then only there is a commitment. Bolo yes or no? I decided then, so I will decide for every girl. Are bolna re? Don't take me other way. Okay, I'm just taking one example. Are you getting what I am saying? I'm happily married. Are you able to understand? So I have decided to marry a girl. It does not mean she is ready. First I need to propose, then acceptance, then I'll go to their family, then once again acceptance. Correct now? So this much is required or not? This much is required. It means decision does not mean commitment. So what Ind AS 37 says, if you are committed, then recognize provision. Then there is a constructive obligation. So just find out whether you are committed. If you are committed to such restructuring, then there is a constructive obligation. Otherwise, there is no constructive obligation. Understood? Correct? So it means we need to find out whether we are committed or not. So how to find out that commitment, that we need to understand. For that, there is a special point is given under Ind AS 37. Means decided does not mean you are committed. Decided does not mean you are committed. For example, I have decided I will not take a foundation class. But if somebody will give me 20 lakh for one batch for 2 months, I will start teaching. Okay. Correct now? I will start teaching. If somebody will give me 20 lakh for 2 months for teaching CA foundation, I will say, no, I have decided. Correct now? So decided means I am not taking right now. But I may take again now because I am not committed to that. If I am committed, so what I will do some announcement in public. Public means in social media where my students are there. And I will do such announcement that from now I am not going to teach CA foundation. Public announcement will do. So that every student is now aware that I am not going to teach CA foundation. Means till I do public announcement, I am not committed. And once I am doing public announcement in any social media, in my website, so can I say I am now committed to that? Correct now? Means if I am committed to girl, then I will write down from single to mingle in my status. Are bolna re? Well, to understand what I am saying. And if I am still writing single, means I am not committed even though I have proposed. Are you able to understand? So from your status, I can understand whether you are single or mingle. Means you are committed to whom? You are committed to what? ICI. So if you have not changed your status, it means till now there is no constructive obligation. Are bolna re to become CA? So it means from today, from now only your status should be changed. That you are committed to. You are committed to ICI, and if you are not writing that, means till now you are not committed. You have only decided to become CA, but there is no constructive obligation to become CA. Are you getting whatever I am saying? Means now after class you will change your status. I will see all your status. Correct? What you will write? You are committed to, or write down I am chartered accountant. Are bolna re? Write down I am chartered accountant, or don't write I am chartered accountant. Write down I am best chartered accountant. You are chartered accountant or you are not chartered accountant? You are chartered accountant. So write down, disclose that to everyone. So in your status, what you write down? Today, I am best chartered accountant. Okay, today you will change. If you are not changing, means you will take some attempt to become. Now so you will change. Pakka? Whatever I say, it happens sometime. Correct? So please change that you are best chartered accountant. You are best chartered accountant means if you are confident to write down that, it means you will pakka become CA. And if you are thinking that, oh, what others will think about me, till now I have not got the certificate, then how can I write down? It means something is lacking. Correct? Yes, sir. I hope the entire point you have understood. Have you understood the entire point? Now the question is that, sir, how we will understand that there is a constructive obligation for restructuring? So what Ind AS 37 says, let us see. Have you understood the entire point? So what Ind AS 37 says? A provision for restructuring cost is required when recognition criteria of provision is satisfied. So 3 recognition criteria: present obligation arising from past event. There must be present obligation arising from past event, outflow of resources probable, and a reliable estimation can be made. But first condition, there must be present obligation. Which obligation? Constructive obligation. So there must be present constructive obligation. So how to identify that there is a present constructive obligation? For that, 4 condition is given. For this special point, what they say? A constructive obligation for restructuring will arise when 2 conditions are satisfied. This is important for this particular concept. First, entity has detailed formal plan of restructuring. They have a detailed formal plan. Detailed formal plan from the point of company. Can I say resolution has been passed in board of directors meeting? Means this resolution has been passed. It means detailed formal plan means resolution has been passed. Has been passed. Means till now, if resolution has not been passed, it means we can conclude that point number 1 is not satisfied and there is no constructive obligation, even though they are deciding it. They are doing discussion on that. Doing discussion does not mean they are committed. Correct. So entity has detailed formal plan of restructuring and means both the conditions need to be satisfied, and entity has started to implement such plan. Entity has started to implement such plans. Suppose they have decided to sell a particular unit, so they have given the advertisement to find out a potential buyer. And if they have given an advertisement in a newspaper or TV channel to find out potential customer, it means they have started to implement such plans. It means they are committed to such plan. Correct? So entity has started to implement such plan or announce the main feature. They have done announcement. When we'll do announcement? Whenever we are commitment. Otherwise we'll never do announcement. Otherwise we'll never do announcement. Are you getting? Or announce the main features of restructuring plan to those affected by it. To those affected by it means to the employee, to the creditor, to the whatever. They have done the announcement. Correct. So what are the 2 conditions? Can you repeat with me? What are the 2 conditions? A constructive obligation for restructuring arises when the entity has detailed formal plan and entity has started to implement such plan or announce the main features of plan to those affected by it. If you are writing this, then only you will get marks. If you are writing yes, there is a constructive obligation provision is required, your answer is correct, but not correct as per ICI. Understood? Yes, sir. Now coming to the measurement of provision, what amount should be recognized as a provision in case of restructuring? So what Ind AS 37 says, a restructuring provision should include only the direct expenditure, only those direct expenditure arising from restructuring. Of course, those expenditure which are arising from restructuring, which are those that are both necessary entailed by restructuring, which are due to restructuring, and not associated with the ongoing activities of the enterprise. Not associated with the ongoing activities of enterprise. This will not create any provision for ongoing activities. Ongoing activities means, just try to understand. Can I say during this 2 year will pay salary to employee? Salary to employee, and at the means on actual closure will pay compensation to employee. So you only say we should create provision for compensation plus salary ki only compensation. Only compensation, because salary you are paying which are related to ongoing activities of the entity. This is not directly entailed with the restructuring. Understood? Have you understood? Correct? Yes, sir. I hope you are understanding. Very important point from examination purpose. Correct? Once again I will read. A restructuring provision should include only the direct expenditure arising from the restructuring, which are those that are both necessary entailed by the restructuring and not associated with the ongoing activities of the entity. A restructuring provision does not include such cost as, means the restructuring provision will not include these. What are these? Retraining or relocating continuing staff. Retraining or relocating of staff. Means it might happen this employee of one factory which is going to be terminated may be relocated to another factory. Correct now. So whether it is directly entailed to restructuring? No, this relocation cost of the employee is not directly entailed with the restructuring. That is the effect of a restructuring. That is the after effect of restructuring. Understood now? Correct? So can I say retraining or relocating of the staff or marketing activities or any marketing activities? Correct? Or investment in new system or distribution network. Investment in new system means you are planning to change your method of production. So whatever investment you have done for new production process, that should not be recognized as expenditure because that are not directly entailed with that restructuring. Can I say this, whatever, this all example 1, 2, 3, these are the expenditure which are related to future conduct of business because they are dependent on future conduct of business. Bolo yes or no? So this training, whether employee required training or not required training, that depends upon future conduct of business. Correct now? Relocation also is based on future conduct of business. Investment is also based on future conduct of business. Correct? So why these are not provided? These are not provided because they relate to the future conduct of business. I hope you have understood. Similarly, one more point, more clarification has been given, even though not given, you will do that only. Any future operating loss up to the date of restructuring are not included in provision unless they relate to what? Onerous contract. Means, can I say, this example, whatever I have taken, whatever, it might have been this 2 years there is some future operating loss. So should we create a provision for that? No. Yes, provision may be required if it become a onerous contract, if it become a part of onerous contract. But future operating loss should not be provided. Done. I hope you have understood the entire restructuring. Very important from examination point of view. You will take one question regarding to this. Just write down, refer question number 12, 28 and 34. 28 and 34. Correct? Come to question number, I think, a good question. I will take only one question, 28. Very good question. Write on MRQ. MRQ means first revised question before exam. First revised question before exam. Q Limited is the large conglomerate with the number of subsidiaries. It is preparing consolidated financial statement as on 31st March 2018 as per the notified Ind AS. Now just try to understand. Any parent company will prepare SFS as well as CFS. So can I say Ind AS 37 is applicable to both? Means whatever you are doing in separate financial statement, that will also be done for consolidated financial statement. Means in SFS only will take parent companies information. In CFS will take parent companies and subsidiaries information, and together will apply Ind AS 37 on that. Correct now? Understood? Correct? Means can I say in CFS this subsidiary become one separate unit, parent is a separate unit, subsidiary is a separate unit. Correct? Understood? Are you getting this point? Yes, sir. The financial statement are due to be authorized for issue on 15th May 2018. So this Ind AS 37, this question is with Ind AS 10 also. Ind AS 10 we have not done, but you know AS 4. So can I take this question if you permit? Because you know AS 4. The only AS which you have understood. Bolna yes or no? Correct? So can I take, or I will do this question after Ind AS 10? Can I take? Yes sir. कुछ बोलते नहीं हो. It is seeking your assistance for some transaction that have taken place in some of its subsidiaries during the year. So in consolidated financial statement, we need to take all the events of subsidiaries also into consideration. Yes sir. G Limited is a wholly owned subsidiaries of U Limited engaged in the management consultancy services on 31st Jan 2018. 31st Jan 2018 means before 31st March and before 15th May. Before reporting date and before approval of financial statement? Yes sir. The board of directors of U Limited decided to discontinue the business of G Limited from 30th April 2018. 30th April 2018 means after reporting date, but before approval of financial statement. They made a public announcement of their decision on 15th Feb. Public announcement done. So public announcement will done only after detailed plan. Correct now? It means because public announcement was done on 15th May, it means there is a constructive obligation on 31st March. Therefore, provision is required for restructuring. Correct. G Limited does not have many assets or liability, and it is estimated that outstanding trade receivable and payable will be settled by 31st May 2018. Can I say settlement of receivable and payable has nothing to do with provision? This is ongoing activities. Correct now? So this is what? This is what? Bakwas information. Can I add on bakwas? Are bolna re? Bakwas. Now student will be confused what need to be done about this. This is related to ongoing activities na. Ignore it completely. Correct. Yes sir. U Limited collect any amount still owed by G Limited customer after 31st May 2018. Means suppose some receivable is not collected up to 31st May 2018. So of course the parent company will collect it. Can I say once again it is a part of ongoing activities. Bakwas information. They have offered the employee of G Limited termination payment or alternative employment opportunities. Means what they have offered, either termination compensation, either you take compensation or will provide some alternative employment opportunity within the group. Understood? Yes sir. Following are some of the details relating to G Limited. The important is the length of the question. Solution is very easy, but student will be confused by reading the information because the question is not ending. And what happened? Till now, whatever we have read, apart from this point, all was bakwas information. Means only the time is wasted in reading. Are bolna re? Correct? Now, the important information will come. Following are some of the details on the date of public announcement. Public announcement. On the date of public announcement, it is estimated by G Limited that it would have to pay 540 lakh as termination payment to the employee, and the cost of relocation of employee who would remain within the group would be 60 lakh. This is on which date? On the date of public announcement. The actual termination payment totaling rupees 520 lakh were made on 15 May 2018. As per the latest estimate made on 15 May, the total relocation cost is 63 lakh. Means, just try to understand what they want to say. We are doing which question? Question number 28. Can you give me all the dates? This writing all the information is very important. When you are writing, then only you are understanding. What was date of public announcement? 15th Feb. So that date is important. Then this is 31st March. Then what is the date of approval? 15th May. 15th. Correct? So what they have said? Termination compensation. termination compensation estimated amount is how much? 540 lakh on this date, but actual payment was done 520 lakh. 520 lakh is paid. So it was made, if it was paid on 15th May, means before approval of financial statement it was paid. Are bolna re? Means if it was paid on approval date only, it means it is paid before approval of financial statement, na? Are bolna? Correct. Then relocation cost estimated amount is what? Estimated amount was 60 and then it becomes 63. So this becomes 60 and this is only estimated. This is also estimated. Till now relocation has not done. Correct now. So this is also estimated, but this is actual payment. This is actual payment. Correct? Yes, sir. Then G Limited has taken a property on operating lease which was expiring on 31st March. But this para, this entire information is now not relevant due to the introduction of Ind AS 116. Means previously there was Ind AS 17 lease which now become Ind AS 116 lease. Now as per Ind AS 116, there is no operating and finance lease in the books of SE. So this entire para become irrelevant. So you just write down, this is not relevant due to what? Due to Ind AS. This question was given in RTP or MTP for introduction of Ind AS 116. Are you getting me? So of course in exam this para will not be asked. If asked, then write down this para is not relevant now. They may do copy paste also. Are you getting me? Yes, sir. The loss after tax of G Limited for the year ended 31st March 2018 is 400 lakh. What they are saying? If for this year, what is the loss? For this year, this is 400 lakh. So can this loss will be recognized? But this is nothing to do with Ind AS 37. This is the actual loss of the current year. This will be recognized now. This is not future operating loss. Not future operating loss. Yes, sir. So this is also not relevant. Not relevant for this question. G Limited made future operating loss totaling rupees 60 lakh till 30th April 2018. This 30th April was the, you can see, was the date of what? If you see, 30th April is given now. Is actual discontinued date. Means that is the date of discontinuation. So 30th April, on this date, means from this date to this date, the actual loss is also calculated because it was the 15th May was the date of approval. So we know the actual loss from this date to this date. Correct? So this is the loss how much? How much? 60 lakh. So can you say on 31st March, this is future operating loss? On 31st March, it is future operating loss. On 31st March, it is future operating loss, na? Bolna yes or no? Yes, sir. This also you have understood. Correct? How should U Limited present a decision to discontinue the business of G Limited in consolidated financial statement of comprehensive income? This question has been taken from international book. But now I have already said कि internationally means as per international accounting standard we call it statement of comprehensive income. By India we call it statement of PL. Don't be confused with this name. Institute do copy paste of the question from international book and they don't know that we don't call it statement of comprehensive income, we call it by statement of PL. So this is nothing but statement of PL. Correct? Understood means in solution don't use the word comprehensive income, use the word statement of PL only. Correct? Yes. What are the provision of a company is required to make as per Ind AS 37? So lengthy question, but can I say the solution is only 2 sentences. First you need to write down restructuring. Then you should write down that if all the 3 conditions satisfied, then we should recognize provision. Then you should write down the constructive obligation arise when 2 conditions are satisfied. Then you should write down in the given case because public announcement has been done. Therefore, there is a constructive obligation on 31st March. Therefore, we should create a provision for restructuring cost. This much you should mention. Then you should write down what is the amount of provision. Now, first question, for termination cost, should we create provision? What will be the amount? 540 or 520? 540 or 520? 540 or 520? How many are saying 520? 540 or 520? So everyone saying 540 means you don't know in AS4. This is concluded. It is understood that you don't know AS4. Say, why this actual payment, because this actual payment is done before approval of financial statement, and that provide evidence of the condition existing on balance sheet date, this become adjusting event now. So should we make a provision of 540 or 520? You know the actual amount. If you know the actual amount before approval of financial statement, then also you will create provision with estimated amount. Arey bolna re, that is only AS4. So first means we have concluded that we need to do in detail in the AS10. Correct? Are you getting? So can I say the amount will be 520 lakh? This much provision should be created. Should we create provision for relocation cost? Should we create a provision for relocation cost or alternative employment opportunities? Should we create a provision for relocation cost or alternative employment opportunity? Bolo yes or no? No, because it depends on future conduct of business. Very good. Means you have understood whatever I have said. It depends upon future conduct of business. You just try to understand. You can answer only when you have understood the question and you know the concept. Most of the students will say yes, we'll provide provision, provide this expenditure also. Most of the students, even though they have done this concept. Depend upon future conduct of business. Very good. Excellent. Excellent. I'm happy. Should we create provision for 400 lakh to Bakwas point? Correct. Should we create a provision for 60 lakh? No, because it is future operating loss. Even though actual loss is known, but can I say on 31st March it is based on future event. Therefore, this is also not required. Means what is the total provision required? 520 lakh. Answer is just itna. But how you are writing, that is important. How you are writing, that is important. This question, if comes, this question will be minimum 6 marks, maximum 8 marks. 6 marks, 8 marks. 6 marks is very important from exam. And normally students don't know how to write. So first, you have to write down provision 3 condition. Then constructive obligation 2 condition. Then you should relate with the case. Then write down the provisional amount. If this much you write down, you will get full out of. Correct? Can you read the question? Read the answer by your own? You can read, but one para you delete. This wala. The operating. This now not relevant. Otherwise you will be confused. Better you delete. Forgot to delete. Understood? Now can I conclude that I have completed this chapter? I have completed this chapter. What do you think? With this Ind AS 37, you have learned new thing, or it is as whatever we have done at C Enter? New things, few new things, or entire thing is new? Few. At nalayak. Entire thing is new. You are not knowing the definition of provision only. Exact definition. Now I think whatever question asked, you can answer. But let me take some more questions, come to only for understanding. Come to question number 15. Question number 15. Entity A is a dealer in washing machine. Entity A offered to his customer a scheme whereby it states that after a period of 3 years, the entity offered to buy back the washing machine at a fixed price which is expected to be less than fair value of machine at the end of 3 years. Have you understood? Tara? Once again. Entity A is a dealer in washing machine. Entity A offered to his customer a scheme whereby it is stated that after a period of 3 years, is once you have used the washing machine for 3 years, entity offered to buy back the old machine, buy back the washing machine at a fixed price, suppose 10,000, which is expected to be less than the fair value of that machine. Suppose after 3 years, the fair value of machine is 15,000, but they will purchase at rupees 10,000. So of course there is an expected loss. There is an expected loss. Correct? The credit amounting to reform will be required to be used by the customer for buying a new washing machine. That is, new washing machine will be sold at a discounted price. Means when the new washing machine can be purchased after the end of 3 years, and that buyback price can be offered as a discount. Understood this point? Are you able to understand? Yes, sir. Past experience indicate that customer generally opt for the scheme. At the time of sale of the first washing machine, should entity recognize any provision in this regard? What do you say? Should we recognize any provision? Means when the first sale is done, suppose this is the year, we have sold one machine, and after 3 years, 1 year, 2 years, it will be bought back. Bought back, the fair value is suppose 15,000. It will bought back at fixed price. Fixed price is 10,000. Correct? So of course, you can see there is a loss of what? 5,000. So should we create a provision at this point of time? This is the question. Yes or no? Yes or no? If you are saying no, then why no? If you are saying yes, then why yes? Then only I will understand why no, why yes. So why you are saying no? Depends upon? Depends upon future conduct of option. But here, who have a right to purchase? Who have a right to sell? Customer has given an option. It means, can I say, if customer say that I want to sell this machinery, so already a contract has been done. The contract is what? There is an obligation to buy. Entity offered to buy. Obligation to buy. So whether it depends upon future conduct of business of that entity. Entity cannot refuse. Entity cannot refuse. Whether entity can refuse? I said future conduct of entities, not customer. Customer may say I don't want, but if they demand, whether entity can deny it? No. Understood? So it does not depends upon future conduct of entity's business. It does not depends upon future conduct of entity's business. Understood? Means you are not thinking correctly. Understood? Now batao, whether we should create a provision or should we not create provision? We should create provision. All the conditions are satisfied. Can I say this sale is the past event? And due to this sale, can I say there is an obligation which will be settled in future? And outflow is also probable. That is given. That is also given. Past experience indicate a customer generally opt for the scheme. So it is probable. And of course amount can be estimated. If the amount can be estimated, all three conditions satisfied, therefore provision is required. Simple. You can read the answer. It is not based on future conduct of entity's business. Correct? Just write down. If you were thinking about that point, write down. It is not based on future conduct of entity's business. Because entity can't deny if customer want to sell the old machine. Understood? This also you have understood. 16 already we have done. This one more question, but that question I will not do right now because that is based on Ind AS 115. So just write down in question number 36. Question number 36. This question write down. Do after Ind AS 115. Do after Ind AS 115. Now, there are two questions intentionally I have left where you will have doubt. Understood? There are two questions intentionally I have left where you will have doubt, and if you are not asking doubt means you are not. Understood? Correct? Intentionally I have left where of course you will have doubt. Correct? After reading solution also you will have doubt. And if you are not asking doubt, means you have not changed your process of learning. Correct? Intensely. If you will not ask doubt, I will automatically take that. But I am just giving some day. So with this, we completed Ind AS 37 entirely from my point of view, not from your point of view. Not from your point of view. Correct? We'll take a break of 10 minutes. After break, we'll start Ind AS 10. Can we start once again? Yes. Now, one doubt has been asked in question number 15 once again, that sir, entity A offer to the customer, what is the offer to buy back the washing machine at a fixed price, which is expected to be less than the fair value? Fair value means they are purchasing at a price which is less than the fair value of machine at the end of 3 years. Correct now. And what is given the next point, this whatever the credit means this fixed price will be available as a discount for the sale of new machine. For the sale of new machine means whenever new machine is sold, so some discount will be given for this credit. So we are creating provision for that discount. We are creating provision for that discount. Correct now. Whatever due to the first sale, there is an obligation to make second sale at discounted price. So first sale is the past event, and what is the obligation? Obligation is to make second sale at discounted price. So for discounted price, for that discount, we should create a provision right now. Understood? Correct. What is given? Check karenge. A provision for expected cost of meeting the obligation of selling the second machine at discounted price should be recognized because sale of first washing machine is the past event. Because sale of first washing machine is the past event. Means we are not recognizing this right now. We are not recognizing the purchase of old machine. Purchase of old machine, that is the future event. Correct now? That is the future event. Right now the past event is what? Past event is what? The sale of first machine. And due to that sale of first machine, we are offering some discount for the sale of second machine. So that discount will be recognized as a provision right now. Understood? Correct? Yes, sir. I hope you have understood now. Correct. Now let us come to next chapter. The next chapter is what? Ind AS 10. Ind AS 10, chapter number 6. Event after reporting date. Already I have said that now we don't use the word balance sheet date, we use the word reporting date. Ind AS 10. Correct? Yes, sir. Can I say corresponding AS is AS4? Only AS which you have understood? Yes or no? The only AS which you have understood. Bolna yes or no? The only AS you have understood? Perfectly, I will say. Other AS also you have understood. But AS4, I think no doubt. Adjusting, non-adjusting, adjusting, adjust, non-adjusting, no adjustment, disclosure. Khatam. I hope this chapter you have understood. Let's see what you have understood. So we are doing now Ind AS 10. Now, what actually it is, this is reporting date and this is the date of approval. What is the meaning of date of approval? Date of approval means when the financial statement is signed by board of director. Signed by board of directors in their meeting. Correct? Yes, sir. Understood this point? And can I say once it is approved by board of director, it is presented to shareholders. It is presented to shareholders in annual general meeting for their approval. For their approval. So can I say it is presented to shareholders. So on this date it is approved by shareholders. Correct? Understood? I hope you have understood. Now, can I say these are the transaction and event of reporting period? Let us assume this is 2021. So of 2021. So any transaction and event of 2021 will be recorded in that financial year. Correct? But this chapter says event occurring after reporting date. Means any event which occur after reporting date but before approval of financial statement. Correct? Before approval of financial statement may also require some adjustment as per this chapter. So any event, so can you see this is the event after reporting date? After reporting date. Now one doubt should come as a student in your mind. In Bachpan means CA foundation or CP, you have done one concept, periodicity concept. Periodicity. What is that concept? Any transaction of this particular period should be recorded in this period. Means any transaction as well as event. When I am saying transaction, event. Chalega? Yes, sir. So any transaction event of this financial year should be recorded in this financial year. Means any transaction event of this financial year should not be recorded in this financial year. Bachpan mein I think you have done this concept. Now the question is that whether Ind AS 10 or AS 4 whatever we have done in C enter violate periodicity concept. Understood the doubt? Because in this AS 4 what you have done at C enter level, any event which is occurring after reporting date may also require recognition or adjustment in this financial year. So whether it is overriding the requirement of periodicity concept? Yes or no? Yes or no? What do you think? 1 second I will repeat. 1 second I will repeat. 1 second. I think this diagram you have understood. The point is that as per periodicity concept, what we have done at CA foundation level, what your teacher has said that every transaction and event of this particular financial year will be recorded in this financial year. It means any transaction event of the next financial year should not be recorded in this financial year. Correct? But what AS4 says, any transaction means any event which is occurring after reporting date may also require adjustment in this 2021. So the question is that whether it is a violation of periodicity concept, means whether AS4 or Ind AS 10 override the requirement of periodicity concept. What do you think? Yes or no? No, yes. First thing, whether this doubt came at C enter level. Whether this doubt came at C enter level. Why the doubt has not came? Because you have not done the analysis of what you are doing. Whatever teacher said, you accepted it. Correct? And you are totally dependent on your teacher. Bolna yes or no? You think whatever teacher says it is correct only and you said okay sir. But can I say this doubt should arise as a CA student? Because periodicity concept you have not done at CA inter level, it was done in CA foundation level, and believe me at CA foundation level most of the teacher don't teach any concept. They will teach in one sentence. Believe me at CA foundation level this is chapter number 1 unit number 2 of CA foundation level. I take almost 3 to 4 days in this chapter only. Because I know the importance of this concept at a CA final level. Entire accounting principle is based on that accounting principle, concept and convention. Can I say doubt is there or not? Now the doubt is created. Why the doubt is created? Because right now you are thinking. Why you are thinking? Because I am forcing you to think. Correct? One more doubt is that why AS4 has taken this date into consideration. Why not this date? Understood? Are you thinking? Why this date is only considered approval by board of directors? Why not approval by shareholders? Shareholders are the owner. Who are the owner? And it is given in Companies Act, it will be presented to shareholders in AGM for their approval. Doubt should come. कि चलो ठीक है, let us understand this date is given date of approval of financial statement, but the date of approval, why this date? Why not this date? We may consider this event also. Why this has been excluded? Is they are not giving any importance to these events? What is the reason? What may be the reason? No, what is the reason? No. Before their approval, there may be some event. अरे बोलना रे, which a CA knows. Shareholder does not know, but CA is doing the audit na. Are you getting what I am saying? Which CA knows. There may be an adjusting event. There may be also adjusting event which may provide additional evidence of the condition existing on this date. The point is that why this event is not covered under AS4. The doubt is this. Doubt is not about the information is available with shareholders or not. The doubt is that why such event does not require adjustment in this financial statement. Understood? Means you know AS4, but you don't know the objective of AS4. Why AS4 that you don't know? Why Ind AS 10 that you don't know? So that we need to understand. Correct? I will right now give you the answer of second doubt, but I will not give you the answer of first doubt. The answer of first doubt you will automatically understand with my explanation. Correct? Now, first point. One answer I got because auditor already signed the financial. After signed by board of director, auditor only can inform user of financial statement. Indirectly, I got the correct answer. Indirectly. As per law, once board of directors signed it, it cannot be. Financial statement cannot be. Means once it is signed by whom? Board of directors, it cannot be amended. So if it cannot be amended, can we adjust the financial statement with this event? Correct? Means once board of directors has given approval, correct now, it means it is available to public. It is available to public. Once it is available to public at large, so can I say after it is available to public at large, can I say whether it can be amended? It cannot be. Understood? This is the rule. Therefore, this date has been considered. This date is not at all important. Understood now? Correct? So why board of directors approval is taken into consideration? Because after signing of financial statement by board of directors, the financial statement cannot be amended unless a special power is given to some of the owner to amend it. Is through articles of association, some of the owner may be given a special power that they may amend the financial statement. Some special power may be given through articles of association. Correct now? But if no power is given, then this will become the date of approval. Are you able to understand? This point have you understood? Now you all know about adjusting event, you all know about non-adjusting event. What is the meaning of event occurring after reporting date? That also you have understood. What is the meaning of event occurring after reporting date? Very simple definition. Even after reporting date are those events which may be either favorable or unfavorable, which are favorable or unfavorable. That too you have understood. And which occur between reporting date and the date when financial statements are approved for. Means in the definition they have not written when the financial statements are signed by board of directors. But they have written which occur between reporting date and the date when financial statements are approved for issue. Means this is financial statement are approved for issue only when it is signed by what? Only when it is signed by board of directors. Only when it is signed by board of directors. This point have you understood? Correct? Now, because in the definition it is given that these events are those events which occur between reporting date and the date when financial statements are approved for issue. Some clarification has been given by Ind AS 10. Some clarification has been given, means due to this definition doubt may arise. What doubt may arise? Clarification on the date of approval. Point number A, if financial statements are approved by the shareholders after financial statements are approved by board of directors, so a clarification has been given that in this case the date of approval will be the date when management approved it, not shareholder. This clarification given. Correct only? Understood? The financial statement are approved for issue on the date of approval by board of directors. Understood? Second clarification, if financial statements are to be issued to supervisory board of non-executive director for their approval after management approve financial statement. So what is supervisory board? Let me take one example. It might happen we have taken a loan from bank. We have taken a loan of 500 crore. You know nowadays companies do so much default. And they may misuse the funds amount. You know Vijay Mallya? Correct now. So what bank do? Bank appoint a supervisory board of their officer. Correct now. Are you getting? Means there may be some supervisory board which also approve the financial statement after the approval of financial statement by board of directors. Correct? Are you getting? So bank may appoint some officer in supervisory board of non-executive director. This may be non-executive director which are nothing but the officer of bank. So their approval is required. Their approval is also required. But can I say that is from bank point of view? From financial statement point of view, whose approval is more important? Board of director. The one clarification has been given. Financial statement are approved for issue when management approve that financial statement. So it may given in a question, it may be given that a supervisory board has been appointed for the purpose of bank, for which approval is also required. What is the date of approval? In exam you may be confused. Don't know this. In exam you may be confused. Understood? Means a clarification has been given. Then third is also more important. What third point says? Let me explain you. What third point says? Just try to understand. Any entity prepare interim financial report. Interim financial report means what? Quarterly report. Quarterly report. So suppose Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4. Correct? Understood? Can I say Q1 this financial statement will be approved somewhere यहाँ पर? This Q2 financial statement will be approved somewhere यहाँ पर? This Q3 financial statement will be approved somewhere यहाँ पर? And this Q4 will be approved somewhere at this point of time? Can I say once quarterly information are approved, they are also available to the public? Because this interim financial report are also published in newspaper, etc. Are you getting what I am saying? Means can I say at this point of time, can I say Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3 plus Q4, this information is available to public? Bolo yes or no? Means what is the total profit of the company? Is this information is available to the public? Are you able to understand whatever I am saying? Are bolna yes or no? Correct? Now, can I say for annual financial statement, a separate meeting will be held? This is so for interim financial report. But for annual financial statement, a separate meeting will be held. Now suppose at this point of time board of directors meeting was held for approval of annual financial statement. Are you getting what I am saying? And at this point of time it is approved. Understood? Now the question is that date of approval will be this date or this date. A doubt is coming. Whether with this event can we amend the quarterly report information? Able to understand. Annual financial statement is nothing but sum total of Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 only. Are we able to understand? And that information is already available to the public. Now one doubt will come, if for annual financial statement, date of approval will be this date or this date. What do you think? In any case, annual financial statement approval date will be the date of approval. A clarification has been given. A clarification is given, means this event will be also considered as an adjustment to this financial statement, means information in annual financial statement may be different from information in interim financial statement. Understood? Correct? A clarification has been given. A clarification. Clarification means not required, but required for practical understanding. I don't know whether institute will ask this type of questions or not, but if they ask, this can be a dangerous question. Because you will not be able to understand the question what they are asking and why they are asking. Correct? But till now they have not asked this type of question. The financial statement are approved by board of directors after public announcement of profit or other financial information. Means already the profit is informed to the public through quarterly report, and then after that board of directors has signed the annual financial statement. So in this case also financial statement are approved for issue on the date of approval by board of directors. Understood? I think. Any doubt? Correct? Understood? Now, what I will do, you have understood the meaning of event after reporting date. And you all know that this event are of two types. This is same to same whatever you have done where? In AS4. Adjusting event, non-adjusting event. Adjusting event which provide further evidence of the condition existing on reporting date. Correct? Non-adjusting event which relate to condition after reporting date. So all you know na? Correct? Which provide further evidence, so it will be adjusted to financial statement. Correct? Which relate to condition arising after reporting date, so no adjustment required. Only a disclosure of such event is required if the amount is material. If the amount is material. I think as per definition you all know. As per definition you all know, but as per practical situation, whether you know or you don't know, let us understand. Correct. Point number 3, they are saying they have not understood. What I am saying, there may be a situation that due to quarterly report already profit information is available to the public. Correct? What I have said in point number 3, we may be preparing quarter report and this Q4 report was approved at this point of time. So this is the date of approval of interim financial statement. This is the date of approval of annual financial statement. Means there are two dates. The question is that which date will be considered for this chapter, for Ind AS 10. So of course the date of approval of annual financial statement will be considered as date of approval. Means this date is not at all relevant even though information of profit is available to public. Information of profit is available to public. Now understood? Now understood? Yes sir. Chalo. Let me take some examples. Now what I will do, I will take some example. I will take 10 to 12 examples. And whatever example I will take, all examples you have done where? At CA Enter. Means I am not taking any example of CA Final right now. Let me see how you are reacting with all the examples. Correct? So please think and say, we are not in hurry. Example number 1. This is a reporting date. If you want to write, write. If you don't want to write, then also write. Reporting date. Mr. Ram, you know Mr. Ram? Mr. Ram is the debtor of the entity. And amount outstanding is 10 lakh. I think in CA Enter also the first example whatever is taken by your teacher was debtor only. And you think this chapter is only for debtor. Correct or not? Are bolna rahe? Let's see, we'll take many examples, don't worry. But first example every teacher takes is about debtor. Remember, I also take this only. Now what happened? After reporting date before approval of financial statement, fire occurred. Fire occurred where? In the factory of Mr. Ram. Ram, not entity. Entity is A Limited in my example. Correct. And due to this event, Ram become what? Ram become insolvent. And because Ram become insolvent, insolvent means he is declared insolvent by the court. Now no amount is recoverable. No recovery now. No recovery. So this is the fact which we know before approval of financial statement. Correct. Whether it will be an adjusting event or non-adjusting event. What do you think? Adjusting event or non-adjusting event? Adjusting event? Are bolna rahe? Adjusting event? Yes, 4. Why you are saying adjusting event? Whether, what is the meaning of adjusting event? Adjusting event means the condition existing on reporting date. Whether this prior condition were available on reporting date? No. Means there must be some contingencies. There were no contingencies. Contingencies mean condition or situation existing on reporting date. But that situation were not existing on reporting date. Means this is even relate to any condition after what? Reporting date. This condition relate to, this event relate to condition after reporting date. Na? Bolna rahe. Therefore, it is a non-adjusting event. First answer is wrong. First question, first answer wrong. I don't know what you have done. And I think this AS was simplest AS from CA Inter point of view. Correct? It is a non-adjusting event. If you have doubt, please don't believe whatever I am saying. Till you actually understand, you can ask me n number of doubt. Once you understood, okay. But if you have not understood, ask me doubt. Okay? Non-adjusting event. Why I am saying? Because this is the last time you are taking coaching class for accounts. After this, you will never meet any teacher. So then you will become CA, na? After becoming CA, you will take classes. No, na? Even though you don't know, you will not take classes. Are bolna rahe? Yes, sir. Understood? Any doubt? So can I say, this event relate to condition after a reporting date. Therefore should not be adjusted. Should not be adjusted. Example number 2. Basic example I am taking. You need to write down with me only, because I can't give you timing for writing. Have you written this? I can't give you more time for writing. Otherwise to take 150 days. Done? However, I'll give you this PDF also. PDF will be given, but that does not mean you are not writing. That does not mean you are not writing. If you are not able to write, means you will not be able to write in exam also. Correct? It increase your writing habit also. Correct? Now, 31st March, this is the date of approval. Once again, there is Mr. Ram. Rupees 10 lakh is due. And this Mr. Ram was considered as a doubtful debtor. Doubtful debtor means what? He is now doubtful whether he will pay or he will not pay. Why he become doubtful? Because the sale was done, suppose sale was done on 1st April 2020 and today is 31st March 2021. This was the date of sale and 2 months was given as a credit period. What was the credit period? 2 months was credit period and 2 months was expired. Till now the amount is not recovered. Till now the amount is not recovered, and since the amount is not recovered, can I say we have a doubt whether we receive or not? So he become doubtful. So there is a difference between bad debtor and doubtful debtor. Right now he is not a bad debtor, he is a doubtful debtor. Correct now? There may be some reason he is not paying, but he is not saying that I will not pay. He is saying that I will pay, don't worry. Give me some more time. So he is a doubtful debtor, not a bad debtor. Are you getting whatever I am saying? Yes, sir. So whenever there is a doubtful debtor, so can I say there is a chances of loss? Chances of loss means there is what? There is chances of loss means we need to create some impairment loss. We need to recognize some impairment loss. Yes, sir. So as per Ind AS 109, right now Ind AS 109, which is not yet done, we need to create provision for doubtful debt. Now provision for doubtful debt is known as what? Expected credit loss. So can I use the word expected credit loss? And as per Ind AS 109 coming soon, we have recognized an expected credit loss, which is nothing but you can add in bracket provision for doubtful debt. Otherwise, you will be confused. This is provisional amount, but we will not call it provision because it is not a liability. Correct? So we have recognized an expected credit loss of 2 lakh based on best estimate as per the information available on this date. Correct? And this is 8 lakh. Can I say, just try to understand. On 31st March, actually what we do, on 31st March, management will prepare a draft financial statement. This is known as draft financial statement. Draft financial statement is also by applying Ind AS only now. So first we prepare draft financial statement. So when I am saying this expected credit loss was recognized and this 8 lakh will be shown in the draft financial statement, which is not yet finalized. It is not yet approved. Once it is approved, it becomes final statement, financial statement. Understood? Then only it is finalized now. So right now it is a draft financial statement, which require approval of directors. Now it will be given for audit. After audit, it will be approved by board of directors. This you can do in your company's law or your audit subject. Correct now? Yes, sir. Now what happened? Now what happened? Fire occurred. Not fire occurred. He is declared insolvent. He is declared insolvent. Mr. Ram was declared insolvent by court at this point of time. Simple. Now batao whether it is an adjusting or non-adjusting event. It is an adjusting or non-adjusting event. Adjusting, non-adjusting. Hey. Non-adjusting, adjusting. Batao, now insolvent, whether this event provide additional evidence of the condition existing on the balance sheet date. Yes. Can I say there was some condition that we may not recover the amount, and now it is confirmed that he become insolvent. Now no amount is recoverable. So there was condition existing on the balance sheet date, and this event provide additional evidence of the condition existing on balance sheet date. Just try to understand. There is a difference between example number 1 and example number 2. Example number 1, Mr. Ram was a good debtor. He may be Amitabh Bachchan. So Amitabh Bachchan will not be a doubtful debtor now, right now. But something may happen in his life. So there was no condition on reporting date. Therefore it was non-adjusting event. Correct now? Are you getting? But in this case, Mr. Ram was already not paying the amount, means something was going in his life. And it was confirmed that now he will never pay because he was declared insolvent. Correct. It become what? Adjusting event. Are bolna re? It become an adjusting event. Means once again, clarification required, means something was lacking. Where? at CA enter. Adjusting event. Why it is the adjusting event? Now you can write down it relate to the condition existing on balance sheet date. It relate to the condition existing on balance sheet. Understood? Don't say yes understood till you understood, because the example level will increase. Understood? Correct. Now the point is that adjusting हुआ, it means, can I say we need to pass one journal entry on a reporting date? My question to you all, on reporting date, what will be the journal entry? I am giving you two journal entry. You will say option A or option B. I am not asking journal entry. I will give you journal entry. First, option A journal entry is what? That bad debt account debit 8 lakh, and already we have created an allowance for this is 2 lakh. We can add on expected credit loss 2 lakh will be reversed, and 2 debtor how much? 10 lakh. This is one journal entry. A second journal entry I will say, this is profit and loss account debit to expected credit loss, which will increase the expected credit loss by 8 lakh. 2 lakh was already provided. 2 lakh was already provided. Will provide more 2 lakh. Just try to understand there is a difference between provision for doubtful debt and bad debt. So debtor will be reduced only when there is a bad debt. Bad debt journal entry is bad debt to debtor. And the journal entry for provision is what? PL to provision. Means when you are providing for doubtful debt, then debtor is not reduced. Debtor amount will be shown in the balance sheet. Correct now? Are you getting? Means you can see when you are providing for doubtful debt, so in balance sheet the gross amount is 10 lakh and this is the provisional amount and this is the net amount. Means debtor amount ledger balance is what? 10 lakh only. Are you getting? But when it become bad debt, then our journal entry is bad debt to debtor. Means we reduce the amount of debtor only from ledger account. Are you getting whatever I am saying? CA foundation chala gaya. I went to CA foundation. Are you getting? Now you say which journal entry is correct? A or B? A or B? Option A or option B? Everyone saying yes? You are taking a lot of time. Everyone saying yes? Pakka? Confirm? Everyone is wrong. Just try to understand what you have done. Same thing is continued. Whether ICI will say come, become C. You pass CA inter, but difficulty in CA final. And this is the reason why a good student who has passed CA inter cannot clear a final in multiple attempts. I'm not saying first attempt. Multiple attempt also they are not able to clear. Because they are not conceptually strong. They don't know what they are studying. Just try to understand. Now let us come to the objective of this. He said, now you don't know the objective of this chapter. You don't know the object. What is the objective of this chapter? Objective is that, can I say, there were some contingencies on this date? Contingency, now you know. Arey bolna re. Contingencies. Contingency means condition existing on the balance sheet date, which will be confirmed by the occurrence or non-occurrence of uncertain future event, which is not within the control of entity. This much you understood? Now, as per these contingencies, we have estimated that my loss will be 2 lakh. As per these contingencies, we have estimated that my loss can be 2 lakh. But before approval of financial statement, we are confirmed that the loss is not 2 lakh, the loss is 10 lakh. Now, for this financial statement, you only say we should inform to the user of financial statement that loss is 2 lakh or 10 lakh. Before approval of financial statement, we know that the loss is not 2 lakh, the loss is 10 lakh. But to the user of financial statement, we should inform a loss of 2 lakh or 10 lakh. We should give fair information, na? This was an estimated amount as per the information available on 31st March. But before approval of financial statement, some event occur which provide additional evidence of the condition existing on the balance sheet date. And now it is confirmed that the loss is not 2 lakh, loss is 10 lakh. So we should provide a loss of 2 lakh or 10 lakh. 10 lakh, we should provide a loss of 10 lakh. But actual bad debt occur at which point of time? Actual bad debt at this point of time. Means he become insolvent at this point of time. Means this is the date of insolvency. Bole yes or no? In Bachpan, you have done one order of passing journal entry, that is chronological order. The first point, first lesson, journal entry, your teacher said chronological order. What is the meaning of chronological order? Date wise. So can we pass bad debt journal entry on 31st March? Actual loss happen on which date? Actual loss happen on which date? On 31st March, he was not insolvent. Can you reduce the amount of debtor? Arey bolna re, on 31st March, it was doubtful debtor only. Means we need to create expected credit loss. But can I say, now we know the expected amount? What can be the loss amount? Means initially we measured 2 lakh. But now we come to know that it is actually not 2 lakh, it is 10 lakh. So should we change our estimation? Yes. We should change our estimation. Means we should provide fair information to the user of financial statement, because that information was known before approval of financial statement. Yes, if the event would have occurred afterward, approval of financial statement, that was not known to us, therefore we can't adjust it. Means, can I say we are not violating periodicity concept? Why we are not violating periodicity concept? Because we are recognizing the condition existing on balance sheet date. Arey bolna. We are recognizing the condition existing on the balance sheet date. Arey bolna re. So it is not a violation of periodicity concept. Only we are adjusting the amount. 2 lakh is not 2 lakh. 2 lakh is what? 10 lakh. Understood? Means which one is correct journal entry? This is the correct journal entry. This is not the journal entry which need to be done on 31st March. Of course, bad debt journal entry will be done, but bad debt journal will be done. Bad debt journal entry will be done in the next year. In the next year books of account. Next year books of account. It means we should increase the amount provided by rupees. This is the adjustment which is required. This is the adjustment you require. Understood? If you are recognizing bad debt, it is a violation of which concept? Periodicity concept. So we are not recognizing bad debt, we are recognizing the contingencies, yeah, condition exists on reporting date. For that we require estimated amount, and now estimated amount is known. Understood? This is the objective of AS4 or India. Now I think you have understood what actually Ind AS 10 want to say. Have you understood? Now any doubt you can ask me. Any doubt you can. The journal entry is never asked in exam, but practically you will pass journal entry, na? Arey bola no. So there is a difference between passing CA exam and becoming CA. If suppose this question is asked in interview, most of the CA will give wrong answer. This is 100% correct. Most of the CA. If this question is asked in interview, if you say this journal entry, they will say bye bye. Come again after 6 months. For interview. Understood? Understood? Let me take one more example. Now, from my point of view, whatever you will say, you will give me correct answer. Whatever you will say, from my point of view. But let's see whether you can give me correct answer or not. Example number 3. Are you enjoying or not? Are you enjoying? Pakka? Yes, sir. If you are not enjoying, then I can delete all this discussion. Because I don't know whether this is relevant from examination point of view or not. Because Normally what happens, questions come, you write adjusting, you write non-adjusting without understanding, then marks aata hai. Okay, thank you very much. Correct na? But this much knowledge is required. Let me take one second, one question of for debtor only. Mr. Ram, rupees 10 lakh, and he was a doubtful debtor. He was a doubtful debtor on 31st March, and suppose we have created an expected credit loss of 2 lakh. Correct? And it is 8 lakh in the draft financial statement. In the draft financial statement. Understood this point? Draft financial statement. Now what happened? What happened? Why he was doubtful? Because what happened? Mr. Ram went to Pakistan before reporting date. Now anyone going to Pakistan will assume he will not come back. Arey bolna nahi. Just try to understand. He went to Pakistan before reporting date. So now there is a doubt, and because of doubt we created an expected credit loss. But what happened before approval of financial statement? He came back to India and he has settled entire amount. Quite possible or not? Settled entire amount. Correct? Means entire amount is received. Batao. Adjusting, non-adjusting. Adjusting. Adjusting, non-adjusting. Adjusting. Yes, adjusting. Correct. But why it is adjusting? Because there is a condition that he will not pay. But actually he has paid. It is providing further evidence of the condition existing on the balance sheet date. But that he is actually not a doubtful debtor. Are bolna yes or no? So what we should do? What adjustment is required? That this loss is not required. Reverse this. We should reverse this na. Reverse it. Not required. As it is not required. As it is not required. We should give fair information to the user of financial statement. When you have understood this point now, we are here to prepare financial statement in such a way that it provides fair information to the user of financial statement. So before reporting date, it was understood that he might not pay, but he has already paid before approval of financial statement. So means he is not a doubtful. Why you are creating provision? Why you are recognizing loss? Understood. Adjusting it. It is also an adjusting. Example number 3 you understood? Correct? Can I take one more example if you permit? Example number 4. I will take one example which is normally asked in exam. CA inter exam. Not CA final. 31st March, or it might happen you know answer for this. But let's see whether you know the concept behind that or not. Correct? So on 31st March there is a debtor Mr. Ram. 10 lakh. And before approval of financial statement something happened. What happened? Check karte. I will give you 3 cases. Case 1. Received check of rupees 10 lakh from Mr. Ram after what? Reporting date, but before approval of financial. Adjusting, non-adjusting? Non-adjusting. This is non-adjusting. Correct now? Will you reduce debtor on 31st March? No. The transaction related to next year. For receipt, there was no condition existing on balance sheet date. So it is non-adjusting. I think in this, no doubt. So I have just non-adjusting. Case 2. I think for case 1, no explanation required. Correct? Now, Same, but it changes. Received a check dated 31st March or before 31st March. Correct now. Receive a check dated what? Is the date of check is either 31st March or before 31st March, but it was received after reporting date but before approval of financial statement. Of course, we can understand it was received after reporting date, but date of check is what? Either 31st March or before 31st March. Correct? बताओ, adjusting, non-adjusting. The date of check is 31st March or 29th March or 27th March, चलेगा, but it was received after 31st March, before approval of financial statement. You will pass journal entry of receipt on 31st March. This is the question. Adjusting or non-adjusting? If you are saying yes, we need to pass journal entry of receipt on 31st March, it become adjusting event. So are you saying adjusting or non-adjusting? Adjusting or non-adjusting? How many are saying non-adjusting? How many are saying adjusting? How many are saying मजा आ रहा, कुछ भी बोल दो सर? I need to say that only. Means you'll say had, adjusting, tell, non-adjusting in exam. One second. Till now doubt is there. This is a question which has been asked in exam 2 or 3 times. This most where teacher teaches. I don't know whether you taught you or something is like. Apply common sense now. Apply common sense. Don't do whatever you have done in C enter. Forget you have done anything in C enter. I said we will give fair information to the user of financial statement. Think that you are a chartered accountant, what you'll do? Now, you are a chartered accountant, what you'll do? You'll adjust it or you'll not adjust it? Adjusting, non-adjusting? You are saying adjusting? Correct? How many are saying non-adjusting? How many are saying non-adjusting? Why non-adjusting? But we don't know on 31st. No. Then to receive now before approval of financial statement. Check is dated 31st March. Check has a date of 31st March. Before approval of financial statement, we know that check has been received, which is a date of 31st March. Past journal entry on 31st March. What is wrong in that? What is wrong in that? You need to convince me, na? I am saying date check is 31st March. What is wrong in that? We'll pass journal entry on 31st March. And before approval of financial statement, we receive the check. What is wrong in that? Said non-adjusting. Why? The bol. No? Acha. Now once again I'm asking, how many are saying it is a non-adjusting? Non-adjusting. You are saying non-adjusting. Change your answer. If you have received on 31st March also, actually you have not received. That requires clearance in bank also. Suppose you receive a check on 29th March and clearing was done on 1st April. Will you pass journal entry? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. So what is wrong in this? Someone is saying non-adjusting because evidence was not available on reporting date. Evidence was not available on a reporting date. What evidence? Evidence, there was a condition that he need to pay. Arey bolna re, there was condition that he need to pay and the check was received before approval of financial statement and date is also 31st March. What is wrong that we are passing journal entry on 31st March? My question is that I am your client. You need to convince me, na? You are chartered accountant. I am your client. Bolna you see. Now, how many are saying non-adjusting, adjusting? How many are saying non-adjusting? Everyone saying adjusting? Till you say yes sir, I will not, then it will take more than 150 days. Then don't blame me. Yeah? How many are saying it is adjusting? Raise your hand. So others, what you are saying? How many are saying non-adjusting? What is this? How many of you are boy? How many are girl? You know na? Either girl or boy, either adjusting, non-adjusting. Why there is a doubt? Chalo, theek hai. I will only answer. This is non-adjusting. First thing, don't think the way I am. I may confuse. I am IC. First, stick to your answer. Stick to your answer. Whatever first answer is coming, always that is correct. When you change, then it is changed forever. Those who are saying non-adjusting, they should stick to their answer only. Non-adjusting. Now, why it is non-adjusting? For that, I will. Means you are not able to explain it. You are not able to explain. Now, of course, being a client, if suppose I am your client, I am saying the date is 31st March, what is wrong in that? I may pass journal entry on 31st March, what is wrong in that? Then as a chartered accountant, I will answer that check was not under your control on 31st March. Therefore, it is not your asset. Because asset means any resource which are under the control of entity. Because it is not an asset, therefore it cannot be recognized. Understood? Means if you are recognizing a check, so it should be under your control. Can you endorse it on 31st March? Can you deposit it on 31st March? Are you able to understand? Endorse, you know. On 31st March, whether that check can be endorsed, given to the creditor. Are bolna yes or no? You know endorsement na? Whether that check can be deposited in bank for collecting the amount, it means check were not under your control. If it is not under your control, it is not an asset, therefore it is non-adjusting event and therefore you cannot pass journal entry on 31st March for recovery of amount. It means journal entry will be done but in the next financial. Correct? Understood? It is a non-adjusting event. Of course, there is no condition existing on the balance sheet date. But you need to convince in me na. There is no condition that you have received the amount, received the check on 31st March. Correct now? So write down non-adjusting as how this answer will become best answer as the check is not under the control of entity on or before 31st March. Therefore cannot be recognized as an asset. Therefore cannot be recognized as an asset. Understood? Have you understood this point? Correct? Case 3. Case 3. Check dated 31st March or before 31st March, collected by collecting agent before 31st March but received by entity after 31st March. Have you understood this case? Please check which is dated 31st March or before 31st March were collected by collecting agent. Means any agent can be appointed by entity, can be employee also, it can be bank also. Bank also collect on behalf of customer. Correct now? It is if the customer is of different cities. Correct now? So anyone can be the collecting agent. Are you getting? So it is collected by collecting agent before 31st March but received by entity after 31st March. Now say adjusting or non-adjusting. Now it is adjusting. Why? Because it is under the control of the entity. Once collecting agent, that is the agent of that entity only, is it is under the control of the entity. Understood? Therefore now it is an adjust. Adjusting event means past journal entry for receipt of check on 31st March only. This data will be reduced. Have you understood this point? Adjusting event. See case from one example. Understood this point? This also you have understood. Now debtor बहुत हो गया. Let us come to some different aspect. If I will stop here, you will think AS4 means debtor. Let us come to some other asset. This much you have understood? Example number 5. Suppose there was some inventory. Now I want correct answer. Apply your common sense. Don't apply CA inter knowledge now. If you will apply CA inter knowledge, then once again you will give me wrong answer. Correct? There was one inventory whose cost price was rupees 1000. Correct? Before date of approval, and suppose NRV on 31st March was 1200. Before approval of financial statement, a fire occurred and inventory destroyed. Inventory destroyed. Correct? And now NRV become 800. Quite possible? Quite possible. What is the meaning of NRV as per AS2? And Ind AS 2 are same. NRV means estimated selling price minus estimated selling expense. This is the meaning of NRV. Net realizable value. You know NRV? Net realizable value as per AS2. NRV does not mean market price. NRV does not mean fair value. NRV means estimated selling price. At what price it can be sold? At what price it can be sold by entity? Which will be estimated by entity only. Does any expenses incurred to make such sale? Is any commission etc. which is required to pay to make such sale? Understood? Yes sir. So fire occurred after 31st March but before approval of financial statement by due to such event inventory destroyed and now NRV become 800. So you can see if NRV become 800, so you can see there is a loss of 200. Should we recognize whether it is an adjusting or non-adjusting? Adjusting or non-adjusting? Adjusting or non-adjusting? How it can be adjusting? Whether this fire occurred is an event. Whether it relate to any condition existing on balance sheet date? No. It relate to the condition after reporting date on 31st March. There was no fire. It was not damaged unit. Correct now? So can I say it is a non-adjusting now? Non-adjusting. Just try to understand. You can't say that fire occurred on 31st March. You are here to provide fair information. Fair information is that on 31st March, inventory was not damaged. For non-adjusting event, a disclosure may be given. Disclosure may be given. But it cannot be adjusted on this financial statement, means inventory will be recorded at cost price 1000 only. Whichever is lower, is this or this, whichever is understood. Any doubt? Any doubt? Non-adjusting. Why non-adjusting? Because this event does not relate to any condition existing on balance sheet date. This event does not relate to any condition existing on balance sheet date. Yes, if fire would have been occurred before reporting date, then 800 would have been consumed. Loud. No, going concern affected, then there is a special point. I'll come to that. Right now I'm assuming that going concern is not affected. Going concern affected, then I will discuss. Right now I'm assuming going concern is not affected. Correct? And this also this doubt is in your mind because you have done that point in AS4. Because of that reason this doubt came. Otherwise this doubt would have not. Understood? Fire wala example is common. Every teacher says fire going concern affected, adjusting event. It's only you have done na. Arey bolna re. But I have not said that going concern is affected. How can you assume that going concern is affected? Correct na. Every fire will not affect going concern na. A fire occur, loss of 1 rupees. Whether my going concern will be affected. A fire occur, this camera damage. Whether my entity will die. I will purchase new camera. One inventory become damaged. So whether I become non-going concern. I am still going only. Going. This COVID-19 happened. Whether that will affect us. Arey bolna re. COVID-19 came. So many entity become non-going concern. But we have not, because we adopted the technology. Means in our life we have never thought that we'll take face-to-face class, recorded class and live class together. Three together. And I have never thought that I will have my own app. App means Android app. Website chalo we were having. But now I have an Android app. We become high tech now. High technology. Correct na? Understood. Camera is there. Maja aa raha hai. Correct. This is due to COVID-19 only. Everything is due to COVID-19. So we adopted it. Have you understood this point? Correct. Now, example number 6. One doubt is there, sir. In example number 5, is some authority warned that if care is not taken, then our chances of fire. If proper measures not taken, then chances of fire. No. Any time for every business, if proper measurement is not taken, fire can occur. Here also, in my business also, if we will not take proper action, the fire may occur with only one chingari. Correct na? Are you getting whatever I am saying? Fire may occur in any business. It does not mean it become an adjusting event. Correct na? Because there was no condition of fire on 31st March. Understood? In that case also it will be what? Non-adjusting event. Example number 6. 31st March. Date of approval. Once again inventory. Now cost price is 100 and NRV is 80. So in draft financial statement, what is the value? 80. And how much loss already we have charged to PL? 20. Correct? This is draft financial statement. Arey bolna. Now what happened? Before approval of financial statement, this was actually sold. Now think and say. Now please give me wrong answer. Now you are chartered accountant. Please think and say. I will say apply your common sense that we are here to provide fair information to the user of finances. It was actually sold at rupees 60. Quite possible? Bole yes or no? Now, it will be an adjusting event or non-adjusting event? Adjusting or non-adjusting? Once again, two. Still, I am getting two answers. I'll give example. I will not stop. How many are saying non-adjusting? How many are saying adjusting? Balance? Balance, what happened? Both. Think whatever you say. Just try to understand whether It is correct to inform this value in financial statement. I said NRV means estimated. I have just given this formula to apply. You are not applying the information whatever I am giving. Estimated selling price. This is estimated selling price. On 31st March, management estimated 80 rupees. But some event occurred after 31st March. Actual sale happened and now it was actually sold at rupees 60. It means, can I say, our estimation was not correct? And this event provide further evidence of the condition existing on the balance sheet date? अरे बोलो yes or no? No. अरे बोलना रे. The management estimated. It is as simple as this only. We have estimated that there is an expected loss of 2 lakh, but now it become insolvent. Now it become 10 lakh. There is no difference between this example and this example. Management estimated initially the loss will be 2 lakh, but actual event occur and the loss become 10 lakh. I have only said that it is an adjusting event. What is the difference between example number 2 and example number 6? Same example. Same example na. अरे बोलना रे. We are recognizing a loss of 20 lakh, but we should recognize the loss of how much? 40 lakh, because we are here to provide fair information to the user, and this event provide additional evidence of the condition existing on the balance sheet date. Understood? Are you getting whatever I am saying? Bolo yes or no? Yes sir. Correct? So can I say this is adjusting? I am happy when you are saying, giving me wrong answer. But I am not happy when you are not giving me any. Those students who are not saying anything, I will say not at all accepted. Say either correct answer, say either wrong answer. Some you need to attempt the correct or wrong. But you are leaving the question means you are not CA student, okay? This is adjusting. Doubt from your mind, from your face, it seems that still you have some doubt. If you have doubt, please ask me. Don't rely on my explanation. Don't rely on my explanation. If you have doubt, I may be also wrong. I am also human being and I will accept it. Sorry. Yes, I may also wrong na. Are bolna yes or no? I am a human being. I am not Paramatma. I am also what? Atma. Correct? Yeah, we need to analyze. That is the job of auditor. Then why you are doing chartered accountancy? You have done stock audit. That's why you don't know. In stock audit, everything we consider. Stock audit is done on 31st March or after 31st March? After 31st March or on 31st March? On 31st March. Before 31st March. Acha, if you have done before 31st March, then once again you go there. Before signing the, once again you just check and do some adjustment. But normally it is after 31st March. You can do also before, okay? Before, but then once again after 31st March you will go. And you will find out the value if it is sold. So if any inventory is sold before approval and financial statement, we'll check it. And normally we will be able to understand if for which type of inventory we require such information. Means these are rare circumstances. These are rare circumstances. Are bolna re? Correct? Now, example number 7. King can say, huh? Just try to understand. Just try to understand one point. Can I say any inventory may become obsolete? Correct? And due to obsolescence, their price may decline. Correct? Why any inventory become obsolete? Due to some new invention and technology. Normally it happens with what? Normally it happens with which type of inventory? Inventory which requires some technology. Means this mobile may become obsolete if some high person mobile is into market. Then the demand will decrease. Correct na? It is quite possible. Means can I say whether the inventory will become obsolete or will not become obsolete, that fact will be known to vendor or not, means entity or not. Suppose I am dealing with this mobile, I know everything about this mobile or not. Are bolna yes or no? Means can I say, even though right now this is not obsolete, but it may become obsolete, that information is known to me. Therefore, I will try to sell it as soon as possible. I will try to sell it as soon as possible. I'm just giving example what actually happened with me. With this, I introduced third edition of India's Saransh book. Third edition. So third edition is edition. Even though there is no changes. Correct now. But there are some changes because of changing. There are some amendment. Because of that reason, there are some changes. Now, I have some stock in second edition. Correct now. Now, once third edition will be introduced in the market, but now anyone will purchase second edition. So this fact is known to me or not? Even though third edition is not introduced. Are bolno? I hope you are understanding. So whether inventory will become obsolete or not, or it will not become obsolete, that information is known to what? TD or management. Now I am just giving example. Correct? Suppose on 31st March, correct, I was having the stock of second edition. You can assume this second edition is nothing but my inventory. Correct? Yes, sir. And right now third edition is not introduced. Correct? Are you able to understand? Correct? So the cost price was suppose 700 and the sale price of India's Saransh book, which is available to any student who want to purchase only book, not classes. For classes, so we give what? With classes only, na? You don't know what is the sale price, but the sale price what is listed in my website is 1500 plus 150 is what? Delivery charges if we need to deliver it. 1500. Quite possible. So as per draft statement, what is the value? It is 700. And no loss will be recognized. Correct? Now what happened? Third edition introduced. And because of this, can I say demand of this will decrease? Understood now? And once third edition introduced now, if you see my website, now the price of second edition is what? 600. Third edition is 1500. We have done that. Once this batch was started now, change the price. If you want the second edition, because we have some stock. You can see the price 100 now. Be able to understand. Because we are business. I should not disclose this thing in class, but I need to disclose because I want to explain some point. Because we are doing audit of a businessman only, na? Yes, sir. So now the NRB will what? Become 600? Can say, King can say. Adjusting, non-adjusting. NRB of second edition, Till now it is not sold, but it can be sold at 600. Are you getting? I've just given practical example, full practical. This situation you will also see when you will do stock audit. But adjusting or non-adjusting? Adjusting, non-adjusting? Bolo. Non-adjusting? Anyone saying adjusting? How many are saying adjusting? Means balance are saying non-adjusting? Even though you are not raising hand, now you need to assume. Better it is what virtual class only. What is the use of face to face? Remain silent here also, silent in virtual mode. Of coming class, better what? Classes. जाएगा. The use. Why you are saying it is an adjusting? Why you are saying it is an fast? Why you are saying it is an adjusting? It means already I have given the answer before giving this example. The information of obsolescence is known to what? Every businessman. The stock will become, any stock will not become obsolete in any day. Hence that information will be available, that new technology is going to be introduced. Means even though stock was there, this information is with this entity that it is going to become obsolete. Means it is what? An adjusting event. Just try to understand. I have already said the information that it is going to become obsolete, that was known to me because I know when I am going to launch third edition. अरे बोलना रे. You might not, the customer does not know, but vendor knows about this. You don't know, but I know na when the third edition is going to be launched. Means whatever sale of second edition we have done now, we have informed to the student that third edition is coming. If you want, then you purchase. Otherwise, don't purchase. Understood? Correct? Are you able to understand? Yes, sir. It means this is also an adjusting event. Why it is an adjusting event? Because the information of obsolescence will be always available on this reporting date. Means it is not so that any inventory become obsolete suddenly. It is quite impossible. Quite impossible that any inventory become obsolete suddenly without any information, without any market understanding. If you enter the market, you knows about your product. Understood? And if you don't know, means you are not a businessman. So you are not a businessman. Simple. Correct? Anyone having business means family business. So you ask your father, you will get the answer. Which business? Granite. Just ask. They will explain you clearly. Just as hota hai. They knows that this item is going to become obsolete because new design has came. This become old design. So they will try to sell it at a lower price. Understood? Example number 7 also you understood. Example number 8. Let us come to property, plant and equipment. Inventory over. Let us come to property, plant. Time over. Okay. Let me take one example. Can I take? It will take 5 minutes. Chalega? Yes, sir. March 31st, date of approval. This question is the favorite question of ICI at CA Inter, but from my point of view, the suggestion given in ICI at CA Inter level was wrong. But I used to teach as per suggested solution because I need to know marks will be given when we write suggested. Correct? But now I have already said don't apply CA Inter, apply your common sense. Correct? Yes. Now there was machinery which was agreed to be sold. Agreed to be sold. Machinery. Means already agreement has been done. before reporting date. The cost price, let us assume 10 lakh. And suppose sale price agreed is 8 lakh. Correct now. Cost price, or you can add on carrying amount. Carrying amount. Carrying amount is 10 lakh. And what sale price is what? 8 lakh. Now, agreed to be sold, but better you write down land. Write down land, better understand. And you know, now, cost is 10 lakh, sale price is 8 lakh. Now, for sale of land, some registration is required. Till registration, ownership will not be transferred. Ownership will not be transferred. It is what? Some government terms and conditions. The registration was completed. The registration was completed before what? Approval of financial statement. Before approval of financial statement. I think you remember this question. Same question at CA inter level. Are bolna rahi. They may use machinery also. Correct? He agreed to be sold before 31st March, but registration completed after 31st March, but before approval of financial statement. Comment as per AS4. From my point of view, this is not a question of AS4. This is not a question of Ind AS 10. This is not a question of AS4. This is not. Why? Because once agreement done, registration is mere formality. Because control is transferred. Here control is transferred. Control is transferred. So can I say once control is transferred, it is not under our control, it is not our asset, it should be de-recognized. Bole yes or no? Asset means which are under control, and when you have done agreement to sell a land, even though registration is not completed, can I say registration means that legal form, this is legal formalities which will be completed at due time. Which will be completed due time, because we do accounting as per substance. As per substance, what is transferred? Control is transferred. So can you see if control is transferred, then sale entry is done. So whether it is a question of Ind AS 10, it is not a question of Ind AS 10. Means even though registration was not completed before approval of financial statement, control is already transferred. Once control transferred, it is a sale. I hope you are understanding. So from my point of view, it is not a question of AS4 Ind AS 10, but CA inter level used to answer as per AS4 ki registration completed before approval of financial statement. Maja aa raha hai because adjusting it. But can I say even though registration not completed, it will be adjusted in this financial year only? Are you getting? Even though registration is not completed before approval of financial statement, since control is transferred, it is a sale of which financial year? Current financial year. Understood? So can I say control is transferred, therefore, property, plant and equipment will be de-recognized even if registration is not completed before approval of financial statement. Now, from my point of view, this type of question, they don't ask the CA final level because very simple question. But if they ask, you should answer not based on Ind AS 10, you should answer based on what Ind AS 16, because it need to be de-recognized, because now entity does not have control. Correct? If I say it is not agreed, but proposed to be sold. If I say it is proposed to be sold, not agreed, proposed to be sold, and registration was completed before approval of financial statement, whether adjusting or non-adjusting. Just try to understand. If I say proposed to be sold, not agreed, proposed to be sold, and registration was completed before approval of financial statement, whether adjusting or non-adjusting? Huh? Abhi bhi I am getting two answers. Adjusting, non-adjusting. How many are saying adjusting? How many are saying non-adjusting? So maximum are correct. Proposed to be sold means control is not transferred. If control is not transferred on 31st March, can you de-recognize it? Can you de-recognize it? I said registration was completed before approval of financial statement. His control was transferred after 31st March. On 31st March, there was control with entity only. Can you de-recognize it? No, it is non-adjusting only. I said this question is not as per Ind AS 10. But if I say it is proposed given now, it is non-adjusting even. Correct? If you want to write down, write down. Otherwise, once again, I will take this example in tomorrow class. Correct? I have taken how many examples? 8 examples. And I think whatever you have done at CA Inter, some approach has been changed. Some approach has been, that was pure rectification. Pure rectification. I am not doing any rectification. Okay? Thank you very much. We'll meet tomorrow. Till then, bye bye. Take care. Enjoy your remaining